All right, buckle up for a deep dive.
Ooh, sounds intense.
I might just turn your thinking upside down.
Like, completely flip the script.
We're going after a question that people have been wrestling with for ages.
Like centuries, even.
How do you become a master of your mind, yourself,
Hmm.
and even reality itself?
Yeah, like a lot of people try.
Right.
But not that many seem to actually pull it off.
Exactly. And to help us make sense of it all,
We've got a guide.
we're turning to the wisdom of Grandmaster Wolf,
Oh, I've heard of him.
a mystic who spent years diving deep into consciousness.
Wow, through meditation?
Yeah, deep meditation. And we're pulling from this really fascinating interview he did
Cool, where was this?
on shadow control.
Oh, on YouTube.
Yeah, a YouTube channel that definitely lives up to its name.
From what I've gathered, Grandmaster Wolf, he doesn't exactly play by the usual self-help rules, right?
Yeah, he's definitely not your typical self-help guru.
His insights, they come from, like, real experience.
They do.
And they're pretty radical, to say the least.
Like the idea that we shouldn't be trying to control our thoughts and emotions.
Yeah, it's almost counterintuitive.
Yeah.
You think you'd want to, like, rein them in.
You'd think so?
But he actually says that fighting them just makes things worse.
It's like adding fuel to the fire.
Instead, he's all about just observing those inner experiences without, like, jumping to react.
Without getting swept away.
Yeah, finding that calm in the center of the storm.
Exactly. And he uses this really interesting analogy to make this point,
An analogy. Okay.
comparing the intensity of an orgasm
Whoa, okay.
to like physical or emotional pain.
Definitely not your everyday comparison.
Not something you hear every day.
Yeah, that's for sure. So he's arguing that, we don't resist an orgasm.
It's a powerful sensation.
Yeah.
But we don't tense up against it.
Right. Even though it's intense,
When it comes to pain,
physical or emotional,
we like brace ourselves.
we try to avoid it at all costs.
So he asks this really interesting question.
Yeah.
Why not observe pain with that same kind of detached awareness, way we might experience pleasure?
Yeah, it's like, can we just be with it?
It's a tricky concept.
It really is.
It makes you wonder if we're going about our inner world all wrong.
Maybe we've been approaching it backwards.
If we're not supposed to fight our thoughts and feelings,
Then where do we even begin?
how do we even start to master them?
That's the million-dollar question.
Well, Grandmaster Wolf suggests that we start with mastering the body.
Okay, interesting.
Specifically, he focuses on controlling your heartbeat.
Like literally controlling your heart rate.
Yeah, he even recommends using a pulse rate monitor
Oh, interesting.
as biofeedback while you practice relaxing.
Makes sense, so you can see it happening
And he claims you can learn to slow your heartbeat surprisingly quickly
just by focusing on it.
just by concentrating on it.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
He describes it as like a gateway to deeper levels of self-control.
Okay, I can see that.
He says that slowing your heart to a specific rhythm, it naturally induces a light trance state,
Oh, that's fascinating.
which then opens you up to greater possibilities.
So it's like a hack almost
Yeah,
for unlocking your inner potential.
exactly.
I like that, unlocking your potential.
And from there, Grandmaster Wolf emphasizes developing a deep awareness,
Okay, so not just controlling the body,
not just the body, but also
but also becoming aware of.
your thoughts and feelings.
Okay,
And not just passively noticing them,
right.
but actively exploring where they come from.
Getting to the root of them.
He actually encourages you to ask yourself,
Okay.
where do I feel anger? Where do I feel fear?
So going beyond just labeling the emotion.
Really pinpointing it.
Yeah, like understanding where it lives in you.
He believes that this kind of internal exploration helps reveal your true self.
The real you underneath it all.
And then he takes things even further,
Oh boy, here we go.
exploring the nature of the self and reality in a way that's pretty mind-bending.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me.
He asks you to strip away everything you think defines you.
Everything.
Your name, your nationality, your beliefs,
Okay, getting rid of all the labels.
your job, even your thoughts and feelings.
Wow, so even beyond that.
And he asks, what's left after all that's gone?
That's a good question.
And according to Grandmaster Wolf, that remaining essence, that's your true self.
So he's saying we're not our thoughts or emotions?
It's not those fleeting things.
We're the awareness that's experiencing them?
The observer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He suggests that true meditation helps you separate from those swirling thoughts and feelings
Detached from the chaos.
and become a detached observer.
Like watching a movie almost.
There's even this really striking example from Zen Buddhism,
Oh, tell me about this.
where masters would hit their meditating students with a stick.
Whoa. What? That seems a little harsh.
Sounds intense, right? But the idea was to create a sudden shock,
Oh, okay.
that breaks their identification with their thoughts.
I see. So instead of getting caught up in ouch, that hurts,
You realize that you're the awareness experiencing both the pain and the thought itself.
that's pretty profound.
So we've learned that mastering the mind starts with mastering the body, our heartbeat,
Okay.
and separating ourselves from our thoughts and emotions.
It's definitely a different way of thinking about self-mastery.
A radical approach.
But how does this tie into reality itself?
Yeah, what does Grandmaster Wolf have to say about that?
It seems like we're getting into some deep territory here.
He gets into some pretty deep territory, suggesting that the physical world,
Like everything we see and touch,
the matter, it's temporary, like a sandcastle.
that eventually gets washed away.
He compares death to trading in an old, broken-down car for a new one.
A transition, not an ending.
Quite a different way of looking at it, right?
That's for sure.
He claims to have intentionally experienced death-like states during his training,
Oh, wow. Like how?
even stopping his heart for extended periods.
That's intense.
He says death is nothing to fear.
And even offers a glimpse into what he believes happens after we die.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting.
Tell me, what does he say about the afterlife?
Well, he describes being presented with 3 options.
3 options.
Going towards the light, which is pretty common in near-death experiences.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Remaining as a spirit or entity,
Interesting.
or venturing into the astral realm,
The astral realm.
a plane of pure consciousness.
So we're not just passively swept along to a predetermined destination.
It sounds like we have choices.
That's pretty empowering.
He paints a picture of death as a realm of possibility, not something to be scared of.
But something to explore.
Yeah, I can definitely see why his teachings resonate with so many people.
It's definitely a different take on life, death, and reality itself.
But what about all the negativity we see in the world? Wars, disasters, personal struggles.
Yeah, all that heavy stuff.
How does Grandmaster Wolf suggest we deal with that?
He emphasizes that we always have a choice in how we respond to negativity.
Okay.
He acknowledges that bad things happen,
Right.
but he believes we often amplify our suffering with our reactions.
Our fears and judgments.
Yeah, it's like we add to the pain.
He illustrates this point with a story about a man who encounters the plague.
Oh, the plague.
The plague tells him it's going to kill 50,000 people.
All right.
A year later, they meet again.
Oh.
And the man says, hey, you killed 500,000 people.
The
And the plague replies, no, I only killed 50,000.
rest died from something else.
The rest died of fear.
That's a powerful image,
It's a reminder that our minds can create suffering.
even where it doesn't need to exist.
It's not about denying the reality of challenging situations.
But about choosing not to be ruled by fear and negativity.
So if we're not supposed to get caught up in the negativity,
What should we focus on instead?
what does Grandmaster Wolf suggest we focus on?
He presents a vision of a world ruled by compassion.
Love and unity.
He believes this future is possible if we collectively choose love over fear and competition.
And to help us get there, he proposes a global meditation experiment
A global meditation.
where everyone meditates simultaneously every day at 9:00 p.m.
That's a bold idea.
It is.
Definitely something to think about.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into Grandmaster Wolf's world.
It's been a wild ride so far.
We've explored his unique approach to mastering the mind
His perspective on the illusion of matter and the eternal nature of spirit.
and his vision for a world transformed by love and unity.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. And we'll be back in a moment to continue exploring Grandmaster Wolf's incredible insights.
Can't wait to see where this goes next.
So stay tuned.
So before we get too far into Grandmaster Wolf's ideas about, like, transforming ourselves and the world,
Yeah.
let's zoom in on this whole the source thing.
Yeah, it keeps coming up.
He mentions it a lot, right?
It seems to be at the core of his teachings.
It does, kind of like the foundation.
But to be honest, it's still a bit fuzzy for me.
Fuzzy, yeah.
He talks about reaching a point in deep meditation where you realize you're not your body,
Okay.
not your thoughts, not even your emotions.
It's deeper than that.
Something more like fundamental,
More basic, primal, almost.
which he calls the source.
So what is the source exactly?
Yeah, it's like tapping into the very foundation of existence.
Okay, I like that.
He describes it as the original mind,
The original mind.
the consciousness that birthed the entire universe.
Whoa. Okay, now we're talking.
And he suggests that this source exists within all things.
So it connects us all.
Yeah, connecting us all as one.
It kind of reminds me of that idea from quantum physics,
Oh, yeah.
where everything is energy and
Yeah.
we're all part of this big web.
Yeah, interconnected.
And Grandmaster Wolf says that when you connect with the source during meditation,
Yeah.
you can directly experience that interconnectedness.
Okay.
He describes seeing through the eyes of a horse,
Through the eyes of a horse.
feeling the wind on a bird's wings,
Oh.
even perceiving the thoughts of another person.
Okay, that's where I get a little skeptical.
I hear you. It's definitely pushing the limits.
It's a lot.
But what if there's more to reality than what we can see and touch and hear?
I guess that opens up some pretty wild possibilities.
It does. It really challenges our assumptions.
It makes you wonder, what else are we missing?
Exactly. And it seems like this idea of the source,
Yeah.
it's really central to Grandmaster Wolf's vision of a better world.
A better world.
Imagine if we all truly grasped our interconnectedness.
Yeah, how would that change things?
Wouldn't it change how we treat each other, how we treat the planet?
That's the big question, right?
It's a beautiful idea, but can we really move past all our differences
All our divisions.
and embrace this universal love?
It's a tall order.
He knows it's a challenge. He talks about our minds,
A monkey mind.
our monkey minds, always focused on differences, right?
Yeah, nationality, religion, politics,
All creating this sense of separation,
which then fuels conflict.
conflict, and suffering.
So he's saying these divisions aren't inherently real,
They're just mental constructs, in a way.
like illusions we create.
He argues that when we connect with the source,
Yeah,
those divisions just fall away,
we see through them.
and we're left with pure love.
Compassion and unity.
But it's not just about sitting around and feeling good.
Right, it's not passive.
Grandmaster Wolf calls for action.
He does.
He urges us to make a conscious choice,
Oh.
to live from a place of love, to treat each other with kindness,
To take responsibility for our actions.
and to work together to create a world that reflects our shared humanity.
So this is where mastering our minds comes in.
It all ties together, right?
If we can control our reactions, choose love over fear.
Wouldn't that have a huge impact on the world? Absolutely. He talks about training our monkey minds.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't go crazy with negativity.
Keep keeping them in check.
And remember, true mastery isn't about suppressing those thoughts and emotions.
Okay, so what is it about?
It's about becoming aware of them
Observing them.
without judgment and then choosing how we respond.
It's like we have more options.
Exactly. And meditation is key to developing that kind of awareness.
Makes sense.
Quieting the mental chatter,
Going deeper.
connecting with that deeper source of wisdom and compassion.
That's inside all of us.
It's like we all have the potential for enlightenment and peace and joy,
We do.
but we have to train ourselves to access it,
Like building those mental and spiritual muscles.
to break free from the negativity.
The stuff that keeps us trapped.
You remember that global meditation experiment he proposed?
Oh, yeah, the one where everyone meditates at the same time?
He thinks it could speed up this whole process.
Interesting.
What if we all took time each a day to tap into the source together?
It's a cool idea. A little out there, maybe?
It is, but there's some research suggesting that group meditation can actually have a positive impact on society,
Really?
like on crime rates and social harmony.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Even if we're a little skeptical of the more mystical stuff,
Yeah.
there's something practical about Grandmaster Wolf's message.
It's grounded.
And it resonates with a lot of people, especially these days.
I think you're right. So many of us are looking for meaning, connection.
Purpose, something bigger than ourselves.
In a world that feels kind of chaotic.
Thing.
And Grandmaster Wolf, he offers a path.
A way of seeing the world and ourselves in it.
That's both profound and empowering.
He's not just telling us what to believe.
He's not preaching.
He's sharing his experiences
His own journey.
and inviting us to explore for ourselves.
Like he's saying, look, this is what I found. This is what's possible.
And encouraging us to discover our own potential.
So the question is, are we ready to join the experiment?
Are we ready to dive deep into our own consciousness
Explore the power of the source.
and contribute to a world ruled by love and unity?
It's a powerful challenge.
And it all starts with mastering our own minds.
We'll be back in a moment to wrap up our deep dive into Grandmaster Wolf's mind-blowing world.
This is just the beginning.
So stay tuned. Back again to the deep dive. And wow, my mind's still kind of reeling from all these Grandmaster Wolf ideas.
Yeah, it's a lot to digest.
From mastering your heartbeat to like a global meditation, it's a lot.
Definitely takes you into some uncharted territory, that's for sure.
We went from those practical techniques, self-mastery stuff,
Right.
to mind-bending concepts like reality, death, even influencing scientific breakthroughs
Yeah.
from the astral realm. It's a lot to wrap your head around, but,
Yeah.
even if we put aside the more, I guess, far out
The
concept,
really out there stuff.
what really hit me was Grandmaster Wolf's emphasis on personal responsibility.
He's big on that, yeah.
He makes it clear that, like, we're not victims.
Of our circumstances, our thoughts, right?
We always have a choice in how we respond.
Always a choice.
You could be ruled by fear, negativity.
Or we can tap into that deeper source of love, wisdom, that source he talks about.
It all circles back to that story about the plague.
Oh, right, where fear was more deadly than the disease itself.
Our thoughts have a real impact,
They really do.
If we dwell on the bad stuff, we just amplify it.
We feed it.
But if we choose to focus on love, compassion, connection,
It's a whole different experience then.
and that brings us back to his vision, that world ruled by love and unity.
It's a beautiful vision.
It might sound utopian, a little dreamy,
Yeah.
but I find myself wanting to believe it's possible, especially hearing him talk about it.
He speaks with such conviction.
I think it's because it's rooted in his own experience.
He's not just theorizing,
He's lived it.
sharing what he's discovered, inviting us to explore too.
He's like, hey, this is what I've found. This is what's possible.
It's an invitation.
Encouraging us to walk the path.
See for ourselves.
So the question for you, dear listener, is what resonated most with you?
Yeah, what really stood out from Grandmaster Wolf's teachings?
Did anything make you question your assumptions?
Spark a new curiosity, maybe.
What steps could you take to, I don't know, become a master of your own mind?
Create a reality that's more about love, compassion, unity.
It's a lot to ponder, but we encourage you to sit with these ideas.
See where they lead.
Maybe start with slowing your heartbeat,
Explore meditation.
or just approach your day with more awareness and tension.
Whatever you choose, remember his message. You are not your thoughts.
You are not your circumstances.
You have the power to choose, to create a reality that reflects what you truly value.
And as always, we love hearing from you.
Yeah. What insights did you get from this deep dive?
What questions are still swirling around in your head?
Share them with us on our website, social media, wherever.
Let's keep the conversation going.
Support each other on this journey.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
And remember, the reality you experience, it's a reflection of your choices.
Choose wisely.